The NHL's Four Nations tournament is here, and it just started with a bang. Game number 1 between Team Canada and Team Sweden. It has been close to 10 years since we've seen some sort of best-on-best hockey, and Montreal starts it off right. Teemu Selanne, Daniel Alfredsson, and Mike Richter, and of course, Mario Lemieux all come out with the present captains of the tournament. Auston Matthews and his forehead gets booed, and right away, the puck drop is electric. Out of the gate to set the tone is the NHL's leading point scorer and dog, Nathan MacKinnon. This guy was so dialed in right from the start. You had Biz barking at the guy in the pregame interview, and he wasn't even batting an eye.
The reigning Hart Trophy winner, MVP of the NHL, Nathan MacKinnon.
First shift, he gets in on the forecheck as the F1, lays the body, and draws a penalty. Yes, Will Nye, the science guy. Get in the box, pal. You just put on maybe the most talented power play in NHL history on the ice for the first minute of the game. You got McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, McCarr, and Reinhart. Holy shit, who's stopping that? But you still need some structure. So Canada uses the traditional 1-3-1 with McDavid and McKinnon on the flanks, Sid down low, Reinhart in the bumper, and McCarr on the point. Now with Sweden playing a diamond on the PK, one way to expose that is a down low and a cross play. So McDavid's going to play catch, climbs up the wall, pulling the strong side D to the dot. They're going to stack McDavid and Sid on that strong side, similar to what they do in Edmonton with McDrysaddle. And the key here to all of this is Reinhart staying in that bumper area to pull coverage. Then it's McDavid to Sid down low, and it's a backhand, no-look feed right to Nathan MacKinnon. We witnessed firsthand a Canadian heritage moment. The stat line literally reads McDavid from Crosby to MacKinnon. That is absolutely puke-worthy, as every generational talent for Canada chips in to make it 1-0 on the power play. Then Canada takes the energy and puts the Swedes on their heels with the forecheck. Whoever thought this is going to be an all-star game, just look at Canada's forecheck. F1's getting in on the body, F2's hunting the puck and sustaining zone time, and early on, Sweden was doing a ton of defending. They didn't get a shot on net until 15 minutes into the period, and that's because on top of the forecheck, Canada was lights out in the neutral zone. Every time Sweden tried to break the puck out, there was a Canadian D standing in their face or playing an extremely tight gap. Canada made it clear they want to get on top of Sweden and suffocate any chance of their best players being able to carry the puck out with possession. They did that through layers, and it's those same layers that led to Canada's second goal. First, here's that tight gap by Parayko. Just no space for Sweden to really fly, even if this breakout pass gets through. Then, the F3 with terrific back pressure at the blue line, and look at the connectivity of both Canadian defenders on the red line here to give basically no room. Turnover and send the horses for Canada. Colton Parayko gets the puck heading north fast with a bank pass, and Seth Jarvis is able to make a cheeky dish into the middle with Hedman pressuring. It's a 2-on-1, and Brad Marchand has a Montreal crowd cheering for him. Who would have thought? Canada goes into the second with a 2-0 lead, and what a start. But then we start to see Sweden settle into the game a little bit. How? Well, pounce on miscommunication. I'm not surprised Canada's playing a hybrid D-zone setup where there's zone coverage down low and then switch to a man-on-man up high. Now, the key to any structure is communication, and that is something that takes time. And in a short tournament like this, that can be exposed. So, Sweden is going to win a puck battle down low and then go low to high. That leaves a slight miscommunication between Marner and Doughty as Doughty attaches to his man up high, and everyone else on Canada is just a bit slow to sort things out. That leaves Jonas Brodin with some space. He throws one on net, and it finds a way through to beat Bennington. Now, if Sweden wanted any chance in this game, they had to start opening up some space in the neutral zone by stretching the zone. They did exactly that, and that caused Canada's D to start backing up. Now, Sweden did a great job in the second period of noticing that Canada was being a little bit slow in their D-zone coverage off the rush and getting into position. There were a few times in the frame where they went low to high, were able to get some space and catch the Canadians by surprise. But that's when we see Sidney Crosby work his magic again. It actually all starts in the D-zone with Mark Stone. Ugliest skater in the league, but the most intelligent thief. He strips Nylander and starts the rush the other way with Sid. At 37 years old, he knows there's probably no way he's going to beat Gustav Forsling with speed. But he knows he doesn't have to. He gets possession, takes a pre-scan to see where his guys are, and he's going to try and drive wide on Forsling to get him on his heels. Then it's classic Sidney Crosby puck protection. Left hand gets out, guy is built like a tree stump. He mohawks out of the contact, and who's sitting pretty? It's Mark Stone. Sid, the middle-aged man, looks like Sid the Kid, and he's putting on a show. to make it his second assist, and 3-1 for Canada going into the third. However, Sweden refuses to back down. And this is where the beauty of a guy like Erik Karlsson comes into play. Erik Karlsson is certainly not the player that he once was, but when he's at his best, this is what he can do. 9 times out of 10, defenders in this position are dumping the puck in. Noticing that Canada's defense is starting to cheat to get back on the retrieval when that does happen, he's going to forego the dump in, make a quick move at the line, and slide it over to Kempe coming down Main Street. Now, Canada is caught with their pants down. It's a massive gap for Kempe to walk in, and the most underrated player in the league rips one past Binnington to make this a 1-goal game. This is what I loved about Sweden's game all night long, is that they capitalized on every tiny opening, including the game-tying goal. Lucas Raymond, arguably the player of the game for Sweden, comes in on the inside of the circle, makes a strong play to win a 50-50 puck, while a couple Canadians get all tied up, and Raymond could sell water to a fish here. His shooting threat makes the Canadian defenders get skinny. That opens up a lane to Jesper Bradatui. It's a 2-on-1, and it's Joel Eriksson Ek to tie the game at 3. What a game. Hockey fans deserve this, and after a couple of close calls in the dying minutes of the third, we need overtime. Now, a little different from the NHL, where we get 10 minutes of 3-on-3 OT instead of 5, and thank God we do. Back and forth action. The dog alone got about 50 shots in OT. At one point, Canada throws on a line of Makar, McDavid, and McKinnon. Every single guy on that line is capable of speeding in a school zone with their speed, yet they don't score. Canada's goaltending is without a doubt their weak spot in this tournament, and Jordan Binnington letting in a few goals that he probably wants back could have been a storyline, but he makes 2 unbelievable saves in OT to keep it alive for Canada. And after trading chance after chance, a failed rush by Sweden means that Sid grabs the puck and goes up ice. Taking his time, he's constantly head scanning like he did on goal number 2 to take in his options. While everyone else is going a million miles an hour, he is playing chess by staying 2 to 3 steps ahead. He's going to get the blue line and make a drop pass that we typically see on power play entries to give the forward coming up the gut a speed and gap advantage upon reception. The man he drops it to is Mitch Marner. Sid goes for a change. Marner uses all that speed to take advantage of the gap, and it is magic. He goes Roof Daddy-O Jr. to call the game. Canada takes a thriller 4-3 in OT. Sidney Crosby, 37 years old and an absolute alien. 3 assists on the night. The Montreal faithful are chanting his name, and somehow he's still the best Canadian on a team with McDavid, Makar, and McKinnon. What a way for best-on-best hockey to return, and just the start of this tournament as a whole. With that win, Canada doesn't get the full 3 points, just 2, and Sweden picks up 1. So for now, Canada remains in first place. Now for Canada, a couple of other things. Do they stick with Jordan Binnington, or do they go with Adin Hill for their game against the U.S.? They got some decisions to make there. Also, on top of that, Shea Theodore got injured just 6 minutes in and was announced to be done for the tourney. Got a feel for the guy. If another D goes down for Canada, though, they could be in trouble since they don't have any replacements. So, what did you think of the first game of the Four Nations tournament? Let us know in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, as we will be covering every single game of the tournament on the channel.